the creator of heaven and earth, them is, and to Messiah, Yahushua, who is our prophet, priest, and king. And let me try to get this thing straight. Our prophet, priest, and king, who is soon going to return and not only rule this planet, but destroy and reconstitute everything that's in it. The only thing he will not destroy is those whose spirits have been renewed by the Father's Spirit. Glory and honor to Father Yahweh and to Messiah Yahushua. Again, I must explain, we got cut off last night. I don't even know why. We've been having trouble with our internet. It's been off since yesterday morning, as far as we know. It's not back on. The service people are supposed to come out tomorrow morning and hopefully straighten out the issue. I called the cable company and they explained that there is an issue with our modem and they need to either replace it, this will be the second time, or fix it. So we're on this mode right here because I'm using mobile data on my phone, and that's why we're able to communicate here. But last night's Bible study has been erased. I didn't erase it. When it was cut off, it went away. And so I'm not going to do that Bible study over. I'm just going to highlight what we went through and then continue on to chapter 3 is where we were when we were cut off. Chapter 3 and 4, we'll continue there. And there's a very good lesson for us as Bible students in chapter 4, a very good lesson. And so we're going to go over that. But I just wanted to let you know what was going on. So don't be surprised if we have interruptions, because the mobile data is not as secure as the usual Wi-Fi powered things we do. This is going to be powered by mobile data, so there's going to be some buffering and some other things. I'm just trying to, and then you guys that are here already, please let anyone that comes in the room understand and know what's going on. If they don't understand and they start asking questions, you can help and tell them. Also, Akawan Banya, I hope he's here today or will be here soon, because we're starting a little early. I didn't mean to start early, but this is what the system is doing. So anyway, we're going to have visitors that we probably don't want, like we got last night, probably worse today. There's a lot of people that really they have no life, and they spend their time invading other people's rooms and YouTube videos to create mess. That's what they do. They have nothing else to do. So that may occur today, and that's why I have Arkawan Banya, I think Gary Joseph, a couple of y'all have the power to dispense with such ones. And so you have to be on the lookout for that. I didn't want to make this video today with just members only. That's why we have Gary Joseph, Arkawan Banya, and a couple of others that do have the ability to boot people out of the room. I have a feeling that that's what happened last night. Somehow there was some technology that caused us to get cut off from what we were doing. So we're going to start again today with a review of what we talked about last night, and then go into chapter 3, and we'll move from there. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Stephen Cully. Exactly. Exactly. That's it. So again, I apologize for where we are. By the grace of the Most High, hopefully tomorrow morning when they come, the technician would, if they show up, it would straighten out this problem that we're having here. But welcome to all of you, our family, as we're continuing on. It's interesting. I was thinking about this morning. In the days of the New Testament, the main message that the apostles were giving was that the Messiah came and he was risen from the dead. He was put to death and risen from the dead. And a lot of the people at that time, both Hebrews and Gentiles, had problems believing that a man rose from the dead, which is why it was important that the Messiah, after he rose from the dead, not only him, but also the witnesses that the Bible talks about that showed themselves in Jerusalem, that they were witnesses to his being alive, and they were witnesses to the brethren that were raised from the dead. So that was the message then. Since then, Christianity has hijacked the message, and they'll proclaim every Easter he is risen, which is really a pagan tradition at this point. So, but that's not the message anymore. Revelation shows us the message in terms of the next thing to happen. The next major thing is the return of the Messiah and the complete annihilation of what you now see on planet Earth. And that's what Revelation shows us. It shows us in the 7 churches, 7 seals, and 7 trumpets that, in fact, in the 7th trumpet, let's take a look at that. Revelation chapter 11. Revelation chapter 11. This is the new message. And it can only be given just like the first message was given by the bloodline. The new message can only be given by the bloodline. Okay? And that's why our awakening, as I've said many times, the sign of the end is us. There's a lot of things going on. There's hurricanes, tornadoes, typhoons. There's earthquakes. There's famines. There's diseases and pestilences, right? There's murder. There's child pornography. There's prostitution. There's sexual rape. There's all kinds of things happening. But the major thing that shows this is almost over is the awakening of the bloodline. Okay, as we said, both Deuteronomy chapter 30, and then Messiah talks about the times of the Gentiles being fulfilled. And of course, we read where Paul says, until all Israel shall be saved, and the Gentiles were given time until the Hebrews. So our existence is the awakening. And just like people that try to downplay how we have been mistreated, especially in America, for literally hundreds of years, we ourselves, and the fact that we exist and that our families exist, bear witness to what was done to us. Okay, we don't need to convince anybody what was done to us. The fact that we exist, the fact that people still feel the need to march in the street for our rights, the fact that there is a thing called civil rights. We exist, and our existence shows what happened to us. As that happened, so our existence as awakening Hebrews shows what's getting ready to happen, which the Bible tells us. So in Revelation chapter 11, notice what it says in the 7th trumpet. Revelation chapter 11, the 7th trumpet, going to begin at verse 15 of Revelation chapter 11 and go down to verse 19. But watch what it says here, especially in verse 18. Watch this. And this is the theme that you will see all the way until you get to the time when the city is coming down out of the sky, as the Bible shows us. But here, Revelation chapter 11, beginning at verse 15. And the 7th angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, watch this, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our master and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever. So the kingdom of this world are going to become the kingdoms of the Father Yah and the Messiah. Okay, that's the message. And then it follows up saying, and the 24 elders which sat before Yahweh on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped Yahweh, saying, we give thee thanks, O Yahweh Al Shaddai, which art and wast and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. This is where we're at. This is the new message. It's not that Jesus rose or Jesus. No, we already know he alive. He's our cousin. That's a message. He's our cousin, and people know he's about to come back and destroy and take over all the kingdoms of this earth. And they're going to destroy them that destroy the earth. Okay, verse 19. And the temple of Yahweh was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail. The last thing you see in the seventh trumpet is the ark of the covenant. That's not accidental. That's the last thing you see. So it comes down to exalting the Heavenly Father and obedience to his covenant. Does that make sense, y'all? Do we got that? This is not about a church, a denomination. It's about the bloodline awakening to who they are after being in captivity for thousands of years and glorifying the Creator, and glorifying his covenant with us, and warning the earth that as a result of their disobedience and their handling of the true Hebrew Israelites, they're going to be destroyed. That's the message. Now, they don't want to hear that, but that's the message. Okay. Those that are of a convicted heart and a sincere spirit, no matter what color you are, no matter where you come from, you could join with us. You can join with the nation. You don't have to be, sign any papers. You can join with the nation and come to the Creator. You could do that. That's your choice. But you cannot hate the nation and join with the enemies of the nation and say you love their God. You can't do that. That you will not be. The reason I say you can't, because you will not be accepted. You can't hate the people of the Creator that he has chosen and say you love God. You can't. And all these European-based religions are lost. They're being destroyed. Okay? They're going to be destroyed. That's the message. And again, Revelation chapter 14, the first angel gives us, again, this message in contrast to Revelation 13. See, we must always remember the goal of the God of this world, which is the devil, Satan, is Revelation 13. That's his goal. He wants crowns on the horns. He wants the whole world bowing to him. He wants to control everything in terms of buying and selling, so that you must be worshiping his religion, his man-made system, to even be able to operate on this planet. That's what he wants. Remember, everything that's being done now, the Iran conflict, everything else, the Palestinian conflict is leading to that. Don't lose sight of that. Because the media will get you all confused. But Revelation 13 is the truth. And it mentions the saints in Revelation 13. Notice Revelation 13, verse 7. And it was given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. In Revelation chapter 5, we saw the book of life given to the Lamb as his kingdom. That contains the names of all the saved. The Father knows who we are, who they will be, and he's given those names to the Messiah. And the rest of the seals are the Messiah unraveling the book of his kingdom. That's what the seals are. And when you get to the sixth seal, that part is where he comes and gets us. When you get to the seventh seal, we just read what's going to happen in the seventh trumpet. Okay, we just read what's going to happen. So, brothers and sisters, Revelation 14 shows you the message. Look, Revelation 14, verse 7. Well, let me start Revelation 14, verse 6. Revelation 14, verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. And as we have already studied this many times, people are receiving a false gospel. Even though the Bible clearly defines what the gospel is, people are really receiving not that. Not that. Not the message of the Messiah that reveals the righteousness of the Father. That's what the gospel is. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Messiah, the Bible says, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation, to all that believe, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For therein, that is in that message, the righteousness of the Father is revealed. That's the gospel. Receiving this white Jesus, receive Jesus and join our Christianity gospel that's not saving, hasn't saved, ain't going to save nobody. And is designed to cause the true people to be enslaved in your mind. To be enslaved in your mind. See, they had our bodies. They took our money. We don't have, they take everything we try to get and burn it to the ground. They've done that all our history. Then they say they discovered that we invented. Okay? That's been happening. But what the devil really wants is our mind. Because if he is given our mind, he controls us. You see these people that give people like Joel Osteen all their money, and they give these Sunday preachers and these SDA preachers and all these people all their money. And I've seen it in the SDA church. They'll send lawyers to old people's houses to get the old people to sign over all their assets to their conference. That's the truth. They got a whole division of lawyers committed to that. And that ain't salvation for nobody. That's just them enriching themselves. Okay? And so we have to understand our mind as the true Hebrews must belong to the Creator. We must, as the Bible says in Romans 12, yield your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to Yahweh, which is our reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Our minds are renewed when we awaken to who we are by the Spirit of the eternal Father Creator. You understand that? And it's not complicated. We just need to go to him. Instead of going to man philosophies about things, you got to go to him. It's not complicated. And he will take care of all the rest. And his word will guide us in the way we should go with his Spirit, brothers and sisters. That's the message. See, so it says, he shall overcome them and make war with the saints. And then Revelation 14 says, verse 6 and 7, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. What did he say? Revelation 14:7, saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh, that's the Creator, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. There's only one Creator. And he has chosen, look what happened before we read that in the same chapter. What does it introduce? The Lamb with the 144,000. He has chosen us. I don't care what man says. I don't care what their religion say. This is really where the rubber's going to hit the road, brothers and sisters. He has chosen us. We don't have to, again, the message that he gave to Ezekiel, which we getting ready to get to, we leading up to that. But the message that he gave Ezekiel is whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. You're hearing that? Whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. That's it. The message is the same. Worship the Creator and be with the people he has chosen. Because he's getting ready to destroy this earth and all that has to do with destroying, all that hurt the earth, he's going to destroy it. And let me tell you, anybody that's not the bloodline, not obedient to the covenant he shows, is destroying the earth. Every voice that's not with the truth, every voice that's not with the Spirit of the Father is going to be silenced forever. Period. Period. Now, we saw Ezekiel. Now, I'm getting ready to show you something when we get to Ezekiel 4. And this is a lesson that I'd like to share with you because, well, you'll see when we get there. But Ezekiel chapter, we were in that last night. We had read Ezekiel chapter 2. And Ezekiel chapter 2, remember, Ezekiel was given a book, a scroll that was written in the front and in the back side. Remember that? And he ate the scroll. And that represents him eating the word that Yahweh put in his heart for him to give to the children of Israel. Y'all got that? So we saw that both with John, we saw that with Messiah and Kapha, we saw 3 witnesses, and we've seen it here with Ezekiel. Again, as far as possible, I seek to always give you witnesses. We saw John, we saw Messiah with Kapha, feed my lambs, remember? And then we saw Ezekiel. Okay, so he gave Ezekiel this roll to eat. It was sweet in his mouth, just like it was with John. And John saw it was bitter in his belly. It was going to be bitter for Ezekiel too, because when he give this message of Bible say lamentations and mourning and woe, he was going to be attacked. You understand? So the belly bitterness has to do with the blowback from the message. Okay, so there's going to be blowback from the message. And just like with Ezekiel, just like with the apostles, so with us. What do I mean? He gave Ezekiel of his spirit to prepare Ezekiel. And that's what chapter 3 was about. He said, well, we'll see, but he prepared Ezekiel to give a message that he had commissioned Ezekiel to give. And in Acts chapter 1, the Messiah said, tarry at Jerusalem until you be endowed with power from on high. And once you get the power, he said, you're going to be witnesses unto me. Just like us. We're being awakened and we're being prepared to receive power from the Spirit. And we won't be able to give the message effectively until we receive that power. Just like Ezekiel could not give this message until he received the word and the power. The disciples, the apostles, could not give their message until they received the word and the power. We cannot give the message until we receive the word and the power. And the power comes with us trusting the word of the Most High and being prepared by the Most High to give the word. That's the only way we would do it. Can you imagine what it's going to be like for us to be given a message that this world's getting ready to be destroyed, the Messiah taken over very shortly? Can you imagine with the power the Father give us, how people are going to react to that? I've already seen it on Facebook. I be telling them, they be talking about laughing at about, nah, you ain't doing this, and nah, black people do it. I said, y'all getting ready to be annihilated. And I could tell they could feel that, and they get upset. I said, y'all getting ready to not exist anymore. And I'm looking forward to it. See, because that's what's coming. See, their soft, flowery, white Jesus Christianity ain't gonna tell them that. In their belief, everybody could be saved. And they don't even believe it themselves. If they did, they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. Okay. But now, Ezekiel is being prepared. Chapter 3. Let's start again. Chapter 3. Again, let's pray that the Most High keep us on this time. People coming here. Akawan Banya. Who else we got? Akawan Banya, Brother Carrie Joseph. We be depending on y'all. Make sure some of these knuckleheads that come in here catch the boot quick, okay? Before they get to do something and mess us up. All right. Praise the Most High. All right. So now, Ezekiel chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest. Eat this roll, and go and speak unto the house of Israel. So the message here is for the house of Israel. Okay, he said it, right? He said, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest. Eat the scroll with my words on it, and then speak unto the house of Israel. Messiah told the disciples, tarry at Jerusalem until you receive the power, then you will be witnesses unto me. See, so the message is to be witnesses of the risen Savior and the people that were rose with him. That is the wave offering and the resurrection. That was the message. He rose from the dead. Okay, that was the message. Today, the message is Fear Yahweh and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven, the creator. And the saints are going to escape and be in the book of life. You want to be with them? The awakening. That's what's here, brothers. The prophets all witness to it. And we read, we can get 4, 5, 6 witnesses to what we're talking about. Praise the Most High. Okay. Verse 2 and 3. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 2 and 3. Thank you, Akwambanya. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness, because it's truth, right? And he said unto me, go get thee unto the house of Israel and speak my words unto them. So again, he's eating the truth. Listen, brothers and sisters, can you bear witness? When you are awakened and you start to rediscover the Bible, the word of the Most High, and you start to see it through the eyes of an awakened Hebrew, is it not sweet? Is it not sweet? See, brothers and sisters, when I was in Christianity, I was taught a European-centric religion. Everything was based in Europe. All of the things were based in the Middle Ages in Europe. All of the apostles were white. Jesus was white, and it means not much. But when I understood who I was by the grace of the Father, when I understood where I really am from, where my family came from, why we was always knifing each other and getting drunk and getting arrested, why my cousin spent more than half his life in jail. When I started to understand these things, the whole Bible looked different. Now I'm not looking at it through Eurocentric eyes. I'm looking at it through the eyes of an awakened Hebrew. It's completely different. I started to understand the people of the book are Israel. And you and me, we're Israel. I started to understand what the Most High, even back when I was in Christianity, he would keep me in Deuteronomy. And I really didn't understand why. At the time, I thought the white folks was Israel. And I didn't understand why am I. And then I met a brother that was not a part of my church. I met him. The Most High had me meet him. He disappeared. The Most High had him come across my life at the time. He called himself an awakened Jew. And he believed in churches. He used to wear a yarmulke. He was in New York. And me and him connected. Now, I was at the time, I was wary of him because I was trusting in my Christianity, see. But I look back now and I realized the Most High led him to me to show me things that I would come to pass and understand hereafter. Okay, he do that. So I started to understand who I was. And then when it came back to me 20 years after I met this man, the whole Bible looked different. Everything looked different. Ezekiel, I could see the brother. And I mean a brother. I could see a brother. I could see Messiah as my cousin, a brother. I could see Kapha as a brother. And then Paul had the nerve to write, he's a Hebrew, and they thought he was an Egyptian. I said, oh my gosh, man. There we got it right there. They thought he was an Egyptian. Greek man looked at him and said, aren't you the Egyptian? And he had his hand laid on laid hands on Paul to get him. You know what the brother's name was? Sure. I said, oh, shoot, look at this here. Now I'm seeing it all the way through, see? And this is the thing, brothers and sisters. It's not required that you and I completely understand all the scripture. It's required that we read it and let the Father teach us his spirit, by his spirit, what it says for us. You understand? There are people that really think they're supposed to know all the scriptures. Now, look, as you and I have read this thing through a couple of times, at least, right? You start to understand more than you knew before, right? So when you read it through, this is my 23rd finishing of the Bible here. I think I'm in 1 Corinthians. So when I get done, it's taking more than a year this time, but that's okay. When I get done, I'll be starting my 24th reading, right? And at that point, I would have known more than when I first read it, right? But I still don't know everything. And at this point where I'm at right now, when you're coming to soon, it's more important that you understand what you don't know. Like, in other words, say, I don't know. Don't think you have to explain everything to everybody. You understand? You definitely don't have to explain to the heathen what they did to you. Everything they're doing is to cover up what they did. I don't care who it is. It's not hard to look at a group of people and say, this group of people here is the lowest of society. They're in ghetto. This group of people here always need rights. Well, why is that? See? So what you're learning more as you go on, but you don't know everything. It's all, you know more than before. And the Most High is guiding you to learn more. And guess what? When we go through the 1,000 years, it's going to be 1,000 years of learning. 1,000 years of growing and learning. You can never master divinity. Man tries to give degrees in divinity called Master of Divinity. It's a joke. You can't master divinity. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept. Okay, you cannot master the spirit of the Most High. You cannot master that which is infinite in understanding. It's ridiculous, but man will do that stuff. See, man will do that. Cause you to try to think you go doctor of divinity or master. Come on, man, stop. Come on now. When you start to understand that there's a creator, you can't master him. Praise the Most High. All right, so now Ezekiel chapter 3. I'm gonna read verse 4 again. And by the way, please excuse me, we did go through this last night, but like I said, we lost the whole thing. So we're gonna hopefully save it this time. Praise the Most High. Okay. Okay. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel and speak my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech or hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech or of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Now, listen to what he just said now. The Father Spirit is speaking to the Levite prophet Ezekiel, and he's telling him, if I had sent you to people of a different language, of a strange country, they would listen to you. So why didn't he send his prophets of a strange, if they were going to listen to him? Well, two things. Remember now, gospel is a Jew first. That was his promise to Abraham. And we did see later on, Paul, others, the James, he did end up sending his prophet to people of a strange tongue, people that spoke Greek and different languages from Europe. He did do that. He have now made their own religion out of it, called Christianity. That's what he gave. But he gave was century Hebrew telling about the Hebrew Israelite Messiah from the tribe of Judah that came and lived perfect righteousness and was risen from the dead after he was put to death by the Gentiles. Now you got Easter eggs, bunny rabbits, and Santa Claus. You see what I'm you don't have that where you have the message changes, Easter eggs, bunny rabbits, and Santa Claus. And join the church. Right? Join the church, Easter eggs, bunny rabbits, Santa Claus. It's Babylon now. So, all right. So now, let's verse 7. Verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against thee. He's preparing Ezekiel. He gave him a hard head for his mission, right? He gave him a hard head, made your forehead strong against their forehead. Verse 9, as adamant, harder than flint, have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Verse 10, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. Again, we must individually receive the word. And then he can pour on us his spirit. And that's what he says in Proverbs 1:20. turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make my words known unto you. That's what he does to his people. That's right. So he's sending Ezekiel into a mission where he was stiff-necked people. And he's preparing him for the mission. Give him his spirit, give him his word, making his head strong and hard and ready to deal with what he's getting ready to deal with. Because the Most High knew the people he's sending, stiff-necked, hard-headed, and rebellious. They're impudent. So he was sending his prophet to war, but he all his brothers, whatever he have us do in the last day, he's preparing us for the mission, just like he did with the apostles. All his prophets, he's doing us. He's preparing us for the war ahead. See, the preparation of the heaven. It's not of us, it's of him. All we need to do is what he said. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Praise the Most High. Okay. Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart. Lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Praise the Most High. Okay. Verse 11. Ezekiel 3:11. And go and get thee to them of the captivity and unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them and tell them, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, blessed be the glory of Yahweh from his place. And I heard also the noise of wings of the living creatures that touched one another, and the noise of the wheels over against them, and a noise of a great rushing. Verse 14. So the Spirit lifted me up and away, and I went in the bitterness, in the heat of my spirit, but the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me. Oh yes, brothers and sisters, we're going to experience that. The hand of Yahweh strong upon us. Praise the Most High. Verse 15. Then I came to them of the captivity at Tabib, that dwelt by the river Kabar. And I went where, and I sat where they sat, and remained there astonished among them 7 days. Now, notice he mentions the position of the Israelites as people of the captivity. So now we understand that Ezekiel was a contemporary with the Babylonian captivity, as was Daniel, as was Jeremiah. They were all experienced in the actual captivity in Babylon. Now, Jeremiah was told that they would be a section of captivity 70 years. We're going to revisit that in chapter 4, but that was to be captivity. Now, some people like to say, well, we were slaves in Egypt 400 years. No, we weren't. If you look carefully, the Bible said, what he said to Abraham is you would be in the land that you're a stranger in. That's the whole Canaan, that Egypt, include all of the Philistines, all of it was a land, wasn't it? As he in and first off, we when you if they want to be honest about it, the land of Canaan was originally what they call Africa. If they want to be honest about it, which part of Africa now, right? It was they put a hole in it, a canal, Suez to go, but really originally land Africa, which I called then was and Hamite. So you got Hamite from Canaan. That's the land we were given. You got Hamite from Philistine, which came from Mizraim. And of course, you got Cush Hamite, which we get Ethiopia from, which really the whole continent was named. Okay, so they try to separate it into what's now called East. Europeans, they got converted to other religion called Islam, and they call it Middle East. But originally, that's all us. That's all us. It was supposed to be ours. And if you look at the borders of the land, how it's supposed to go from what is now Iraq and Iran all the way across down till you get to the river of Egypt. It was supposed to be much bigger than it is now, much bigger, and it's going to be. It's going to be. Praise the Most High. Okay, but the captivity started with Babylon because they destroyed Solomon's temple, and we'll go into that. Start the Egypt, verse 16. In the past end of 7 days, that word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor takest the wicked from his wicked way to save life, the same wicked shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. Now, brothers and sisters, Revelation 18 is waking you as watchmen to call my people out of Babylon. Let them know from him what's getting ready to happen. Does that make sense, y'all? Let them know from him. That's why it says Revelation that ye not takers of her sin, that you receive not her plagues. So the warning is that he gets so plagues on this place, and you don't want to be a part of it. He getting ready to throw on here like never see. He getting taken. See, so that's the warning. If we don't give the warning, he's gonna us for their blood. But he's gonna us the preparation, the power of his spirit, his word, how willing hope, like here I am in me when you're equipped. And he'll let you know when you're equipped. And you must be faithful because there's going to be blowback. Okay, that's why we must make sure that he give us his spirit, that we are fulfilling his word, that we are filled with his word and his spirit, because it's going to be blowback. The only we're going to in the Father, faith of the Messiah. That's how we'll be able to end. Otherwise, that's why he was trying to tell them, y'all should pray. Yeah, it was frozen, superstar. It was frozen. We're trying to get it back here. It's acting up. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Test 2, 3. It was frozen for a moment. Superstar. Hear me now? Test 2, 3. It was frozen for a moment. Superstar noticed it. It was frozen, but you're going to have this problem going back and forth. Can you? Okay, it's back. Okay, good. All right. Verse 19, Ezekiel 19. If thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I stumble before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning, and he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness that he hath done shall not be remembered. His blood I require at thy hand. Again, brothers and sisters, all of the people that stand up and claiming to be reverends and doctors and preachers, they're going to have to give an account for the soft messages they've been given. They're going to have to give an account for trying to get money instead of giving people the truth. They have to give account for receiving falsehoods that they knew were false in order to appease the people. Just like these people were watchmen. Anybody that stand up with a Bible in his hand claiming to be a teacher or preacher, he's going to have to give, or she's going to have to give an account of what you're doing. And again, that's why Paul mentioned in Acts 21, I am pure from the blood of all men, for I have not shunned to give unto you all the counsel of Yahweh. And that's it. We must make sure, brothers and sisters, many of you are going to end up teaching people. You must make sure you're given all the counsel of Yahweh. Not what you don't know, what you do know. Okay? What you do know. Okay? Does that make sense? I want to make sure we on that page now, because you, the Most High, has raised me up to bring you this channel to get a lot of y'all from the Knicks side, right? But I didn't understand at the time, and now I'm seeing what you are seeing. The purpose was to get you ready. To get you ready. Get into his word. Get into his spirit. To get you ready. Because you're going to teach. And when you do, teach what you know, what he's given you. Don't teach what he hasn't given you. Because all these so-called reverends and doctors and these people standing up with Bibles in their hands, deceiving people, they're going to be given what the beast and the false prophet are given in Revelation 19. They're going to be given the lake of fire. They're going to be given it, and they deserve it. They're going to be given the last 7 plagues. We are being warned by just watching them give the truth as the Most High showed you the truth. Bear witness of the truth. And don't bear witness of stuff you don't. They're going to ask you all kind of hype. This is the thing. People of religion, they love hypotheticals. What would you do if? As if you're supposed to have all the answers. You're not. You're supposed to have the answer to what the Father gave you to have the answer to. That's it. You are no obligation to teach what you don't know. You understand? That's them. Well, why you call yourself Hebrew? Why don't you know this? Listen, you ain't got to answer that. You ain't got to answer that. And there's a real life example. Just this week, somebody asked me, look here. The New York Knicks are owned by a man named James Dolan. Okay, I'm using this as a object lesson. Okay, now James Dolan, 20 years ago, because he had the power of the owner, he's being the owner, he would flex and he would force and do things based on what the fans wanted, and the Knicks couldn't win anything. He would come on TV and promise this, promise that. One time he came on and said, Kevin Durant, we're going to be in the running for Kevin Durant, and we wasn't. He was flexing. Then he went and hired a man named Phil Jackson to take over the team, and he was supposed to let Phil Jackson run the team. Phil Jackson didn't know what he was doing and was running the team into the ground, so he had to fire Phil Jackson. Then he hires a man called Leon Rose. And again, he backs up and let Leon Rose run the basketball operations of the team. Well, within 5 years, what happened? Here we are with a chip. And the whole time, Dolan was in the background. And he was letting Leon, and check this out. Leon Rose never did a press conference, didn't go on nobody's radio show and do a press conference. He kept his mouth shut. He kept his business to himself, and he didn't let nobody know but what his inner sanctum, what he was doing. Y'all hearing what I'm saying? And then they win the championship. Now the owner out here running his mouth again, promising to go see the orange agent when his players don't want to go, promising they need to sacrifice for 10 weeks. But he didn't need to tell him that. He needed to keep his mouth shut and follow the lead of his guy that he hired. He ain't doing that. And so by running his mouth and trying to flex, he is undermining his own team. What's the object? Do what you know is the right thing. And don't flex when you ain't supposed to. Don't run your mouth about stuff you don't know nothing about. You understand? Let the Father teach you what he teach you, and go with what you know. Don't try to go and flex what you don't know, because all you're going to do is mess up. Y'all got me? Okay, so let's keep going now. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 21. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, that the righteous sin not, and he does not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. Praise the Most High. And the hand of Yahweh was there upon me. And he said unto me, arise, go unto the plain, and I will there talk with thee. Then I arose and went forth into the plain. And behold, the glory of Yahweh stood there, as the glory which I saw by the river Kibar. And I fell on my face. Then the Spirit entered into me and set me upon my feet, and spake with me and said unto me, go, shut thyself within thine house, But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee and bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth. Watch this now. I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, and thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, he that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. This is very big here. In other words, he told Ezekiel, I'm going to keep you unable to speak until I to speak. I'm going to let your tongue cleave to the roof of your mouth until it's time for you to speak. And when it's time for you to speak, I'm going to let you speak. Brothers and sisters, that's like us. That's like Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist. He had his tongue cleaved to the roof of his mouth until the day Zechariah's son was born. And then he loosed his tongue, because he showed unbelief before that. So he kept his mouth shut until it was time to speak. Testing 1, 2, 3. Sister Daniels can't hear me. Can you, Akawan, by here? Can you hear? I wasn't sure. I got everybody still with me here. We're just about finished the first session here. Okay, good. Thanks, Lon. We're finishing the first session. We're going to start with chapter 4 after this next session. So let's stop here. But we got a lot out of chapter 3. Praise the Most High. We reviewed chapter 2. We're getting ready in session to go into chapter 4 by the grace of the Father. Up the thing and try it on here again with the mobile data, seeing the issues that we're dealing with. So please pray for us that we will get a blessing, that we can continue with the word of the Most High as he blesses us. But we're going to start chapter 4 in the beginning of the next session. So be prepared for that, okay? May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up the countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom. Now let's see if I can save this without losing it.